On this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, 2021 graduation and March Madness. All this and more coming up next. Welcome to this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm your host, Gianna Potasic. PE Leaders is an amazing way to gain personal and professional skills, which are necessary leadership qualities to have in any field one may want to pursue. Cameron has the details.
Despite the COVID restrictions, PE Leaders is still up and running. Through Zoom, junior and senior PE leaders begin and continue their process of learning and building leadership skills.
Really, I like to say that this class is more about, it's not so much about creating PE teachers or teachers in general, but really just creating leaders and, working on their leadership skills. And I'm just using a physical education setting to do that. And I actually feel like we've done a really great job. I've had the students do some crazy things on Zoom. And honestly, those students are so amazing that they help me every day. When I say, I'm struggling with this, I want to, how do we accomplish this? They have so many suggestions on, what if we did this? And how about this? And, and so I think that that's what's so cool about it is that, I like to tell the leaders that, it's not just my class, it's our class. And they're an integral part of deciding what happens. And so they've been coming up with some really great suggestions and creative ways to make this work.
Fortunately, with in-person learning, they are excited to continue to strengthen their skills and be able to put them to use.
So I'm a senior PE leader, and this year, because of obvious circumstances, it's a different experience than I had when I was a freshman. But we still have a blast with our classes. We lead warm-ups almost every day, and we usually have an activity that we plan with your partner, and you play with your class. And now that we're in person, hybrid, you get to play badminton or pickleball or whatever it is with your freshmen. It's an overall awesome time.
Next year, in the year of 2022, if you are an underclassman interested in becoming a potential PE leader, go to nvhspe.com under the Junior/Senior tab to find more information. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Cameron Singer.
As we get farther into second semester, many seniors are looking forward to graduation. Ashley has the details on how the graduation ceremony will look this year.
Unlike past years, commencement ceremonies for the class of 2021 will be held at Neuqua Valley's very own Barbero Stadium. This year's graduation is set to take place on Friday, May 28th, and will look a little different to ensure the safety of all attending.
None of us, I think, a year ago would have thought we'd still be in this position and be thinking about even the smallest of protocols, things like a mask and social distancing of some type. So we want to make sure we have enough flexibility that if we need to run a number of smaller graduations, we can easily space students out on the football field. But we also, more importantly, want to make sure we have a room for each graduate to have 2 tickets.
More information regarding graduation times and protocols can be found on the Neuqua Student Splash page, and it is important that seniors declare their intent to attend graduation before spring break by clicking the button for the graduation/prom survey. Although this graduation is going to be different, it is important to reflect on the bright side of things.
If we have a beautiful day and we are at our stadium, that is quite a tradition for this class that I think is super unique.
Good luck to the class of 2021 as you work hard to finish off your senior year. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Ashley Robinson.
Many don't know that Wildcat Weekly is currently in the middle of its 20th season. Dominic takes a look into how the show has evolved over the years and the challenges that have come with the pandemic.
Wildcat Weekly has been a staple here at Neuqua Valley for a very long time. But if you have noticed from our new graphic on our bug throughout this year, we are actually currently airing the 20th season of the show.
Well, it's always great when you hit a milestone. It's a great way to celebrate the accomplishments of all of the students who have ever been a part of this. There's been over 400.
And from season number 1
and welcome to our first edition of Wildcat Weekly
to 20.
Hi, welcome to the first episode of the 20th season of Wildcat Weekly.
Different aspects of the show have changed as well as remained the same.
The biggest change over 20 years has definitely been the technology. When we first started the show, we were editing on VHS tape. We went from that to what we have now, where we're shooting on phones, we're shooting with professional level cameras, we're editing on computers, everything's digital, everything's high definition, high quality. In terms of has storytelling changed over 20 years, I'd almost have to say no, because we're still looking for those interesting stories about what's happening here at Neuqua Valley or what's happening in our community.
Because of the current circumstances, this school year has made it a challenge for the crew to produce the show due to being limited on equipment and having to edit from home. However, the reporters have done a phenomenal job to still be able to put a show out each Friday.
The other coordinating producers and I, at the beginning of the year, sat down together and we all kind of agreed that this isn't going to be a normal year. So we really focused on trying to continue to make content and put out Wildcat Weeklies every week just to create some normalcy throughout the school.
Yes, there's little things about the stories that we can't change and we can't edit because we don't have the professional level software to be able to give them at home, but what they are producing is still amazing. They're still telling those stories, and that's at the heart of Wildcat Weekly.
Thank you again for your continued support of Neuqua's very own student-based news program for 20 seasons. And here's to another 20 more. For Wildcat Weekly, I'm Dominic Liacani.
March Madness is one of the most anticipated sporting events in our country that was postponed last year. Chris tells you how March Madness will function this year and asks students how they feel about the tournament returning this year.
March Madness is one of the most exciting sporting tournaments in our country. The COVID-19 pandemic may have suspended last year's tournament, but this year it is returning with new procedures and logistics to ensure safety measures. The NCAA announced in early January that the entire March Madness tournament will be played in Indiana. This year there will be a limited number of fans that are allowed to watch the games in person. The committee will allow 25% capacity of fans with social distancing, which was made in relation to the state and local health authorities. All fans must wear a face mask at all times other than when they are eating food or drinking beverages. All teams will be housed on dedicated hotel floors with socially distanced meetings and dining rooms, as well as safe transportation to and from matches to be played. This year's tournament is much different than years previous, but the safety measures, procedures, and live streaming for fans aim to build a similar experience of the highly anticipated tournament. I asked students for their perspectives of how they feel about the tournament being brought back this year.
I'm excited about March Madness being back because the high stakes and the drama and the upsets are what makes the game so much more fun to watch this time of year.
Excited about having March Madness back because of the energy all the teams bring into it and how everything is unknown once you get into the tournament, and that's really why the game is played today.
I'm super excited that March Madness is being brought back. I just feel like it's one of the greatest sporting events out there, and just super excited to get to watch all those teams go and compete.
Personally, I'm really excited for March Madness to come back. I love always watching how the tournament plays out, and for us to miss a year and have sports gone for like half a year and now all of it's coming back I'm really excited for it.
I'm really glad March Madness is coming back because I'm a big basketball fan, so not having it last year kind of sucked because we couldn't watch it. And also it's a good opportunity for the guys that are going to be involved in it, in the tournament. They can have another chance to go pro and just have that one lifetime experience.
I'm so glad that March Madness is coming back this year. I think a lot of fans really missed out on it last year since it was canceled due to the pandemic, and I'm really excited for it to start back up. Go Hawkeyes.
Selection Sunday will be held on March 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for all the teams that are eligible to compete in the tournament. For more upcoming predictions, score updates, live streaming, and news, be sure to check out ncaa.com. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Chris Baumgartner.
Congratulations to the cheer team on making it to state. Good luck to them as they perform in their virtual competition this weekend. Thank you for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. Have a great weekend, Wildcats!